Queens is jazz.
It was a place of Black excellence.
This 5-mile radius is everybody from Nas and DMC.
It's the journey of African Americans, financial independence. It's Queens get the money.
I sit here because these folks had to fight to live here, and I don't take that for granted.
I knew that this is a place that I really belong in.
Trying to have folks work together.
It's not just about the past, but it's about the people who live here in the present.
Welcome to Queens, Black History in the World's Borough. I'm Cheryl Wills, coming to you from the Louis Armstrong House Museum. Thanks for joining us. This cozy living room, perfectly preserved, is where Pops practiced his trumpet for all of Corona and the world to hear. We'll take a closer look inside this National Historic Landmark later this hour, but first, let's dive into the African American footprint here. Long before Queens became a global crossroads, free Black New Yorkers laid down roots in neighborhoods like Flushing, where they lived and worked alongside abolitionists and Quakers throughout the 19th century. They established churches, schools, and some were property owners. And during the early 20th century, as Black families moved out of crowded Harlem tenements in search of greener spaces and opportunities, many turned to Brooklyn and Queens. However, it was tough to find a welcome mat. Black families were deliberately shut out of neighborhoods like Addisleigh Park long before it became known as the African American Gold Coast. For the next hour, we'll explore the Black legacy in pockets of Queens. And we begin in Addisleigh Park, once known as Black Hollywood East. Nia Clark explains why.
There's just so much jazz, so much creativity. And then your writers who lived here, and then your ball players who lived here.
In the middle of the St. Albans community of Queens sits the historic suburban enclave of Addisleigh Park. Aside from the tree-lined streets filled with English, Tudor, and Colonial Revival houses, this was once home to some of the most notable African-American musicians, athletes, entertainers, civil rights leaders, and celebrities of the early 20th century.
It was a place of Black excellence.
Jackie Robinson, W.E.B. Du Bois, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, and many more.
It's a beautiful home.
Neighborhood historian Lisa Wade knows where the celebrities used to live, those who helped Addisleigh Park earn its nickname, the African American Gold Coast.
It's a beautiful house. This is the home of Mercer Ellington, Duke Ellington's son.
Rose Watson has seen a lot in her 60-plus years here.
Whenever James Brown was at the Apollo, his band used to stay at his house. So me coming back and forth, I used to talk to the band members.
One of the first African-American women to buy a home in Addisleigh Park, Lena Horne once lived here. Camille Chinky Fat bought the house from its only other owners, the Robinsons, over 20 years ago.
I heard something Mrs. Robinson said, and I said, I'm sorry, what did you say? She said, oh, we bought the house from Lena Horne.
Even with renovations for Chinky Fat and her son, Noah, she maintained a lot of the home's original character, which she'll pass on to the next owner as she prepares to sell the house.
Probably my favorite room is probably the kitchen.
The kitchen!
Because
It is a lovely kitchen.
I'm a baker and I love to cook.
Another beautiful home in Addisleigh Park.
Though this home belonged to his wealthy beauty business owning girlfriend,
She was a millionaire.
wow, boxer Joe Louis once lived here. Elected officials, community members, and residents at a recent unveiling ceremony hoping to preserve Addisleigh Park's legacy with these street markers, explaining its history, including lifelong resident Osha L. Williams.
I'm so proud that the markers are here now so that other people can learn for themselves and do their further study to find out more about the history and legacy of Addisleigh Park.
Though this was not always a welcoming neighborhood for African Americans.
The first Black families who moved into Addisleigh Park faced harassment and hostility, but stood firm.
Well, this community was developed 1900 to 1920 something. And the person who built it decided that he only wanted whites to live here. No Jews, no minorities.
So covenants designed to prevent the sale of homes to African Americans were established as part of the deed.
So in order for Fats Waller to live here, his lawyer had to buy it.
Despite extreme discrimination, eventually many other black celebrities followed musician Fats Waller into the neighborhood.
The main bedroom. As an attorney myself, I actually have the cases that they litigated in court to be able to live here. So I sit here because these folks had to fight to live here, and I don't take that for granted.
Decades after the artists and celebrities left, hundreds of African American families continue to call Addisleigh Park home, building on its legacy and creating new traditions, like its annual Halloween celebration.
It's not just about the past, but it's about the people who live here in the present. And so I'm really glad to be someone who attends and can participate in programming that says this is still a vibrant community.
People stay. They don't just come and leave like the legends did. They make families, they create generations.
Addisleigh Park remains one of the crown jewels of Southeast Queens. Thanks for that, Nia. And still to come,
That hustle and that entrepreneurial spirit, especially in Queens, is why we say Queens get the money on New York 1.
we chat with hip-hop royalty in Jamaica and reflect upon the good old days at the Coliseum Mall, which closed last month. Our Black History Month special returns right after this. Welcome back. We've stepped across the street to the Louis Armstrong Center, where students and visitors come to learn more about the jazz legend. Now, woven into the very fabric of streets and architecture of Queens are the names of African American legends, like the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium in Flushing. In Hollis, you can walk this way to see the street named in honor of hip-hop pioneers Run DMC and Jam Master Jay. Yes, the world's borough has been home to some famous faces, individuals who have broken barriers, shattered records, or switched up the beat. Chief among them, Jackie Robinson, the Interborough Parkway renamed in the baseball icon's honor. 2 years after he broke baseball's color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers, number 42 moved from Flatbush to Addisleigh Park with his family in 1949.
This is a great moment for all of us. Thank you.
By the way, that number 42 retired across all of baseball in 1997. Then there's Rochdale Village's hometown girl, track and field Olympian Delilah Muhammad. One of the top female hurdlers of all time, she set a world record at the 2019 World Championships, finishing the 400-meter hurdles in just 52.16 seconds. She's a proud alum of Benjamin Cardoza High School in Bayside. And when it comes to the early days of rap music, Queens holds a foundational place in hip-hop history, launching the careers of artists like LL Cool J, who grew up on Farmers Boulevard in St. Albans. Nas, Roxanne Shante, and Mobb Deep mixed and mastered their razor-sharp rhymes in Queensbridge houses. Run DMC and Ja Rule came out of Hollis, and 50 Cent raised in South Jamaica. And then there's a tribe called Quest. Founding members Q-Tip and Phife Dawg grew up in St. Albans as well. These artists elevated hip-hop and put Queens on the world's music map. Our colleague Erin Billups grew up in Hollis as well, and she remembers when Jamaica Avenue was the place to be, as rap icons got their start handing out mixtapes on the corner and buying those gold chains from the Coliseum Mall. Here's a look at how that legendary neighborhood is fighting to protect its past.
Jamaica Center, the Ave, the Collie Block. For kids and young adults coming of age in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, it was everything.
We had all the newest things. It was jeans, electronics, music. You could get gold fronts, you could get diamonds.
And you never knew who you'd see. Homegrown stars like Ja Rule, 50 Cent, LL Cool J shot music videos in the area.
This 5 mile radius is everybody from Fubu and Nas and 50 and DMC and Jam Master Jay. And it's just ridiculous who came out of here. So clothing wouldn't have been right. Nothing would have been right if Queens wasn't there.
Groups that helped shape and define hip-hop found their inspiration and cultivated their images on Jamaica Avenue, the center of which was the Coliseum Mall, formerly a Macy's that was converted into a marketplace for small businesses.
The Avenue was everything for Queens and for my journey in hip-hop.
Queens rapper Consequence, known for his solo work and collaborations with A Tribe Called Quest, says writing rhymes as a teen was at first his therapy to deal with life's ups and downs. The Ave is also where he found inspiration.
On my first big record with Tribe, Stressed Out, I was like, yeah, I'll be on the Avenue where they be acting brand new. I was floating on these Reebok joints for Shorty Boo. All of a sudden, I seen these two kids fronting, talking out their joints, but they wasn't saying nothing. We was basically just talking about Queens.
You know, some people looking from the outside in will say it's so materialistic, but there is something about
it's Queens get the money. It's Queens get the money. It is materialistic. It's Queens get the money. The Coliseum goes back to the 80s, and before the 80s was the 70s and the 60s, and it's the journey of African Americans and the fight for self-containment and independence and financial freedom. You know what I mean? And places like the Coliseum allowed people to have financial freedom where they didn't have to work for a quote-unquote demand and clock in a time card.
On January 31st, the Jamaica Coliseum Mall officially closed, the latest casualty in what has been a decade-long erosion of small business and vibrancy on the Ave.
At the end of the day, the youth dictates the culture. They do, and when it's their turn, they do what they do with it. You know, they live in a time of, this is TikTok, this is Amazon, this is Gigster.
Shopping and entertainment habits may have changed, but leaders in the area say policy and disinvestment also led to declining foot traffic on the Ave. A rezoning plan passed by City Council last year aims to revive Jamaica Center with new residential, commercial, and industrial developments.
You know, if you look at the investments in Jamaica, they have lagged behind many other communities across the city. And so with the Jamaica Neighborhood Plan, we weren't just focused on housing. I was focused on a whole wide range of things that make a community a community.
Money is flowing in to rebuild the Long Island Railroad and air train terminals, a nod to the influx of people moving into and through the area.
The apartment.
Williams says affordable housing and money to help people stay in their homes is also included in the plan.
I had many conversations about protecting and preserving, but how do we really do that in a way that gives people confidence? And what type of commitments can we get from the private sector and or the public sector to make it real?
The City Council is funding the creation of a task force made up of community members that will be charged with holding the line on residents' fears of being priced out and on preserving the legacy, the DNA of the area.
I have a term limited position, and I want to make sure that the community can hold us, government, accountable for delivering on the things that was promised.
There is a cultural institution that is working to uphold the Avenue's legacy, JCAL, the Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning.
I think the vibrancy walking down Jamaica Avenue is still there. It's there in the support that we see when we do have events and people, you have an audience coming and asking, okay, so what's happening today? I just bought a ticket.
JCAL's directors say the Ave is making new sounds and images that are a variation on themes of the past, reflecting the shifting demographics of the area.
As a cultural institution, it's both a challenge and an opportunity, an awesome responsibility. We need to be responsive culturally to an enormously diverse group of people, while at the same time paying respect and homage and focusing on the historic community that has always been here in Southeast Queens and in Jamaica in particular.
And when it comes to hip-hop, the beat that started on the Ave lives on in different ways.
His name is Caden the Crown Holder.
This is my turn to be at the top, 'cause I got the crown in this Game of Thrones.
Consequence's son, Caden the Crown Holder, may not be on the Ave, but he's one of many grabbing the torch.
What's the difference between your lyrics, your son's lyrics? Like, how's it changed, just given that there isn't this same level of gathering place and culture?
Well, the physical has become digital. And so now the conversion, instead of it being a place, it's an app.
And the world.
And it's the world. You know, we all are tied together through technology.
The hope of many is that as Jamaica Center continues its evolution, that both the old and new will hold that space together.
Very cool. Thanks for the memories, Aaron. When we come back, the political landscape in Queens.
I couldn't imagine back then that I would be a member of any political body. It was never my intention to be elected to anything.
Errol Lewis sits down with Congressman Gregory Meeks, who's been serving his district for nearly 30 years. Stay with us.
It was Queens College that gave to America, and indeed to the world, Andy Goodman, whose creative witness will certainly live for generations yet unborn. He, along with others, paid the supreme price for this struggle.
On May 13, 1965, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. visited Queens College to remember three courageous men: Andrew Goodman, James Chaney, and Michael Schwerner. The civil rights activists were brutally killed by the Ku Klux Klan in Mississippi in 1964 while trying to register voters.
They were murdered. Two of the three of them were connected to the City University of New York and to Queens College. These were three young men whose lives would have been ahead of them, of different ethnic backgrounds, different faith backgrounds, idealists who believed in the struggle that was going on, the civil rights movement.
Today, the Chaney-Goodman-Schwerner Clock Tower, located at the highest point of Queens College, is a reminder of the decades of struggle for equality and justice.
This is just a small way that we remember Goodman, Chaney, and Schwerner, and the profound sacrifice that they made of their lives for a right that we cannot take for granted.
Welcome back to our Black History Month special. I'm Cheryl Wills. Chaney, Goodman, and Schwerner's fight for civil rights helped shape the political fight for inclusion. Errol Lewis talks with Congressman Gregory Meeks, one of the highest-ranking Black leaders in Congress.
Black political power in New York is often thought to be centered in Harlem, where the so-called Gang of Four was a powerful political force who shaped the neighborhood's history for decades and brought us New York's first black mayor, David Dinkins, and first black governor, David Patterson. Power later shifted to Brooklyn as the demographics of Upper Manhattan evolved. Many of today's political leaders, including Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and State Attorney General Letitia James, hail from Brooklyn.
I'm Congressman Gregory Meeks from the state of New York.
But Queens has also held its own.
I have 3 daughters and 4 granddaughters.
Wow. For the last 28 years, Congressman Gregory Meeks has represented the Rockaway Peninsula and neighborhoods in Southeast Queens, an area shaped by working-class communities and immigrants.
How did you get into public service? You were an activist before you became an official. You were an attorney, you were a prosecutor.
I was raised in East Harlem in public housing. And got to know through my parents and others, individuals like initially Adam Clayton Powell as a kid, so I got to see him. But then more directly, as I got into high school, etc., connections with Charlie Rangel, Percy Sutton, David Dinkins, and Basil Patterson.
After Meeks graduated from Howard University School of Law, he moved into his parents' home in Far Rockaway. It was then that he became more active in local politics and joined the Guy R. Brewer United Democratic Club. Meeks originally had no plans to run for office.
The gentleman from New York is recognized for 30 seconds.
Now he's one of the highest-ranking black leaders in Congress.
I couldn't imagine back then that I would be a member of any political body. I was going to be a good practicing law, maybe doing some election law to help other candidates. It was never my intention to be elected to anything.
In 1984, Meeks was the Queens County Director of the campaign for presidential hopeful Jesse Jackson.
Jesse was that kind of phenomenon that brought a lot of black politics together and started a lot of the ground roots movement for me in Far Rockaway, which was my base at the time.
Then in 1992, he saw an opportunity. After redistricting, a new state assembly seat was created, reflecting the growing black population of Queens.
I had one labor union at the time, DC 37. Jim Butler was the president at that particular time, and he brought all of his troops out.
If there was one to have, that was the one, right? Yeah.
We ended up winning that assembly seat by about 253 votes.
But long before that, it was Guy R. Brewer who laid the groundwork for strong black political representation in Southeast Queens. The assembly member was the first African American to serve as majority whip from 1969 until his death in 1978. In more recent years, Queens has been home to the first black city council speaker, Adrian Adams, who's been tapped as Governor Kathy Hochul's running mate and is now part of the first all-female major party gubernatorial ticket in New York State history. And before Meeks took over the seat, the Reverend Floyd Flake represented the congressional district. He resigned in 1997 to lead the Greater Allen AME Cathedral full-time.
As of October 15th, I am retiring, resigning, leaving the U.S. House of Representatives.
Today is election day for the residents of Southeast Queens. Voters there will decide who gets to fill the congressional seat left vacant by Reverend Floyd Flake.
Meeks won the special election with 57.5% of the vote.
I look forward to trying to make a difference in the lives of the people of this great country.
During his time in office, Meeks has served as chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, where he is now the ranking member, and currently heads the Queens County Democratic Party. When Meeks looks back on nearly 3 decades in office, he doesn't point to a single vote or title.
Where are you leaving your mark in this community?
Well, I think in a number of ways. Number one, when you look at the number of people of color and local people that are having jobs or have gotten jobs on Kennedy Airport and the redevelopment of Kennedy Airport, moving in regards to economic opportunities. What I wanted to do is to try to make sure that I included home ownership, to make sure that more folks were able to get homes so that we could close the wealth gap. And then, of course, in general, being the first African American chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and looking at all of the different ethnicities that we have in the district, trying to make sure that they're included. So pulling people together and trying to have folks work together and talking together and create that space where we could try to work together and it would not be focused on just an individual, but focused on the collective.
Great discussion, Errol. Thank you. Coming up after the break.
Do you think you'd be the same person, the same educator you are today, had you not attended an HBCU?
Absolutely not. I had that investment from people who also look like me, who really cared for me, really nurtured me, helped me to feel affirmed.
New York City's first HBCU high school just opened in Jamaica, putting students on track to attend a historically black college or university. We'll be right back. Are you watching us on your phone in an illuminated room? If so, you can thank Lewis Howard Latimer for that. The inventor, chief draftsman, and 7-time patent holder lived in Flushing during the last 2 decades of his life. A son of self-emancipated enslaved people in Massachusetts, Latimer taught himself mechanical drawing and served in the Union Army during the Civil War. He was on the team that developed Alexander Graham Bell's telephone and improved the quality of its sound. He worked with Thomas Edison to make the incandescent light bulb available to the masses. Latimer was also a writer, teacher, and activist.
Our mission is to kind of inspire and fuel tomorrow's problem solvers by helping them to cultivate what we call the Lewis Latimer mindset. It's his approach to problem solving. It's looking at the world around you and maybe not thinking of the next biggest thing, but the small things that make still a really big impact.
That's the education manager at the Lewis Latimer House in Flushing, now a museum which welcomes thousands of visitors each year. Welcome back to our look at Black history in the world's borough. I'm Cheryl Wills. Lewis Latimer was the quintessential example of chasing knowledge and making a difference. And that's exactly what historically Black colleges and universities have been doing since the early 19th century. The first HBCU, now known as Cheyney University of Pennsylvania, was founded outside of Philadelphia in 1837. Since then, more than 100 schools for students of color have opened, giving young people a culturally responsive education. Ayanna Harry takes us inside the classroom at HBCU Early College Prep in South Jamaica.
There was just an energetic feeling that I knew that this is where the place that I really belong in, that people will love me for who I am.
The first day of school doesn't typically look quite like this. This is the HBCU Early College Prep High School, brand new, first of its kind, and located in the heart of Jamaica, Queens.
The school was created out of the demand from the Queens community.
Callie Williams is proud to be one of the very first students.
Even from orientation, I knew like this school is going to be big.
Rooted in the legacy of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCU Early College Prep places a strong emphasis on academic excellence.
They're taking like physics, AP seminar, 3 other college classes.
And on cultural pride.
Where we really zoom in on Black history and Black excellence.
Today we'll be learning about what was Black Wall Street.
Bringing a new approach to standard courses where Kim Jenkins teaches economics and government.
We were redesigning policy. We learned about like bail reform, raise the age. We were even, students were thinking about how to reform policy on ICE.
By the time they walk across the graduation stage, students here will have earned both a high school diploma and a free associate degree from the school's HBCU partner, Delaware State University. Students are also guaranteed admission to DSU.
They're taking college classes the same as an 18-year-old freshman on campus right now. It's significant for them because it does save their families a significant amount of money. It also saves them a significant amount of time, which allows them to be more successful. And it also just creates a pathway for them by exposing them to an HBCU.
For Callie, the experience has already been transformative.
What have you learned about yourself so far in these first few months here?
I've learned that I need to love myself the way I am.
It is a dream come true to have birthed something to this magnitude.
Founding principal Dr. Asia Johnson is a proud Delaware State University alumna. In designing the curriculum, she made sure to include opportunities for students to learn about the notable HBCUs their school was inspired by as they think about their own college futures.
Do you think you'd be the same person, the same educator you are today, had you not attended an HBCU?
Absolutely not. I had that investment from people who also look like me, who really cared for me, really nurtured me, helped me to feel affirmed.
Just thinking about our history and our culture and where we come from, we need more spaces like this.
To come here and to really like have teachers that know knowledge and expand knowledge on more Black history makes me realize like my pathway can be different.
A new generation carrying the torch of education and social justice. Thanks for that, Ayanna. We're going to take another break, but after that...
I've always wanted to create something larger than myself that hopefully will, continue as a real positive institution and place in this community.
The Black Arts Movement has a creative space at this public park in Southeast Queens. The curtain's up at the Black Spectrum Theater. On Sunday morning, a joyful sound in Queens.
God is here. He's here at the church, and I want to be closer to him.
This is the Greater Allen African Methodist Episcopal Church Cathedral. This sanctuary has been a sacred space for the faithful in Southeast Queens since before the Civil War.
It sets us up spiritually so that whatever we're worried about, maybe if we're worried about something at work or personal things, we can set our minds the right way.
And Macedonia AME Church also has a strong legacy in Queens. Founded in 1811 by free Black, white, and indigenous New Yorkers in Flushing, Macedonia serves the community through food pantries and other social services. And while Queens has changed dramatically over the last 200 years, Macedonia's leadership says their mission remains the same.
We are always a Black church. We're going to be an African Methodist Episcopal Church. That is who we are. And we're always going to speak to the needs of the people, no matter who you are, no matter what the racial makeup is of the community. We are very entrenched in the community.
Macedonia has been sharing a space with a church in Jamaica while they rebuild their home in Flushing after the original space was demolished before the pandemic. This new space stands 14 stories tall, with room for the church, retail, parking, and offices. That's in addition to an affordable housing project that opened in 2015. Macedonia members hope to move into their new sanctuary later this year. A few miles away, the arts community is flourishing. We head now to Roy Wilkins Park, home to the award-winning Black Spectrum Theater Company, a performing arts and media organization that's been serving the community for decades. Here's Frank Zalella.
The mission of Black Spectrum Theater was to create socially relevant works that are pertinent to our community. We've performed all over the tri-state area in New Jersey, Connecticut, mostly in New York City, and of course, lovingly here in Southeast Queens.
Carl Clay wears a lot of hats at the Black Spectrum Theater Company.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out.
For over 56 years, he served as founder, writer, executive producer, and
there was no one to direct the plays, so I started directing.
Don't let the plastic bring you down. All together now.
We originally grew out of Trinity Lutheran Church here in the area, and of course before that it was in the basement of my parents' house. From my parents' basement to Trinity Lutheran Church, finding an old abandoned drugstore that I used to work at in high school, and we converted that into a 100-seat theater. And from there, the community gravitated towards the shows we were doing.
as interest from the community grew, they outgrew their storefront space. For the last 40 years, Black Spectrum Theater Company has called this building in Roy Wilkins Park in Southeast Jamaica, Queens, their home.
This building here was abandoned, and this building sat here since World War II. This was a Naval Officers Club. There were bunkers out here, and so we came together with another group called Southern Queens Park Association, went to the borough president of Claire Schulman at that time, and they turned it into a $10 million renovation project.
We don't always see, a park space housing or giving home to a theater. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that has been a work in progress because there were certain things that had to be learned. When we first moved in, there was this talk about, well, we're gonna do basketball lessons here, and we said, whoa, wait a minute. And they just didn't get it. This is a theater, it's a sacred space. What do you do when you walk into a library? Do you walk in, do you have basketball rehearsals and prep sessions in a library? No, everybody's like this in a library. I said, think of a theater like that.
In addition to their theater productions, Black Spectrum Theater Company hosts after-school theater programs, summer camp, dinner theater, and original films. You are currently in rehearsal
Yes.
for a show here. Tell me about that.
This show is called Made in Southeast Queens. It's really about this bus driver who gets fired from his job because he wants to show the travelers Southeast Queens, and he's not supposed to do that. He's really supposed to show them Manhattan and Forest Hills. And I'm learning things about Southeast Queens, and I'm from here.
When you think of highlights, things that you've seen here, theater that you've taken in here, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, I remember in 2010, which was my second year at Black Spectrum Theater, we did The Wiz. And I was fortunate enough to play Dorothy. And
small role.
Very like minuscule.
Usually when people go see plays, they go to Manhattan, they go to Broadway. The beautiful thing about Black Spectrum Theater is that it's in the community.
It's literally right in your backyard here. I've come across a lot of people like who have come here for the first time. They're like, wow, like Black Spectrum's right here? Like I go to Roy Wilkins Park all the time. I never heard of this theater. I'm like, yeah, it's like right here. You don't have to commute all the way, you know, across the water to experience entertainment. And then also see like people who, you know, look like us put on really solid productions and things of that nature.
One of the things I've noticed in coming up, especially when we talk about the African American theater community, is there's not a lot of transference from one generation to the next. My biggest goal is to make sure the legacy continues. I've always wanted to create something larger than myself that hopefully will, continue as a real positive institution and place in this community.
I kind of see it as like, if not us, then who, in terms of telling these stories.
A new generation of theater makers ready to carry the torch.
What a special place. Thanks, Frank. Still to come.
All I knew was he was Pops. And he was always grinning. And he was always friendly. I just knew him as a guy that sent the cakes over to the house.
A wonderful world right here in Corona. We circle back to the Louis Armstrong House Museum, Satchmo's private residence frozen in time. Queens has deep roots in jazz culture, home to legends like, of course, Louis Armstrong, Dizzy Gillespie, Billie Holiday, and John Coltrane. The history behind those sweet, sultry sounds dates back to the 1920s and the arrival of music producer Clarence Williams and his wife, jazz singer Eva Taylor. The Borough quickly became a magnet for musicians who enjoyed entertaining in the big city, but still wanted a slice of suburban life. Neighborhoods like Addisleigh Park attracted the likes of Count Basie, Thomas Fats Waller, and Ella Fitzgerald, while Coltrane laid down roots in St. Albans. And then there's Corona, where we are right now, the neighborhood Dizzy and Louis called home. It was a close-knit community where Black stars felt safe in this working-class neighborhood. And Louis and Lucille's house here on 107th Street, well, this was a meeting place where everyone was welcome. Take a look. More than 50 years after his passing, the sound of Louis Armstrong's trumpet and his gravelly, warm voice still echoes throughout Corona. At the Louis Armstrong Center, directly across from his historic home, these touching images show the entertainer's nurturing relationship with his youngest neighbors. That little fellow with the toy trumpet is Willie Johnson.
You could see it in my eyes. We're just happy to be there, what have you.
Well, to Willie and other neighborhood kids who befriended the man everyone called Uncle Satchmo or Pops, Louis Armstrong wasn't a larger-than-life star. He was just their neighbor.
And he would be on the stoop playing his horn. The notes were so beautiful.
James Blake lived right next door.
He treated us as if we were on the same level as he was. We had no idea. I had no idea. This was the internationally renowned Louis Armstrong.
To kids on the block, fame never entered the picture. Louis Armstrong was simply a smiling, generous man whose kindness was felt long before his music ever was.
All I knew was he was Pops. And he was always grinning. and he was always friendly, and he was always warm, and he was always giving. I just knew him as a guy that sent the cakes over to the house.
Far from the bright lights of Hollywood and concert halls, this modest tree-lined street was home sweet home for Louis and Lucille. The couple moved to Queens in 1943, along with many Black entertainers who wanted a sense of suburban life just minutes from Manhattan.
Queens is jazz, and there were people who were coming here because they were coming from the South, but they were looking for a little piece of home. And Queens, because of the houses, because of the space, sometimes gave a little piece of home. And once one musician comes, the others follow.
As we climbed the steps of 3456 107th Street,
welcome to Louis Armstrong's home,
we found a cozy home frozen in time. This white, upright piano still sits as a centerpiece in the Armstrong living room.
In this space,
check out the kitchen. These custom-made turquoise blue lacquered cabinets with built-in appliances seasoned with luxury.
Gold-plated.
And peep this marble bathroom with gold-plated fixtures. Talk about a wonderful world.
Lucille bought this home because she said, I don't know if this road life is for me. I think we need a house. And he said, no, we don't need a house. We're fine. We're going to be traveling. We don't need all that. And she said, okay. And she bought this house with her own money.
Right.
And then told him 8 months later, come here, this is where we live now.
When Uncle Louis would come home, the kids would come from all over.
Growing up, Denise Peace was welcomed inside Uncle Louie's home, and Ms. Lucille became her mentor.
She was a no-nonsense lady, but she had a lot of love.
The Louis Armstrong House Museum was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1976. And those who knew the star say the simple warmth that embodied Armstrong's music hit all the right notes for those lucky enough to call Satchmo neighbor. What an honor to be in this historic house. That wraps up our Black History Month special. Before we go, like we do every year, we'd like to honor some of the icons we've lost over the last year. Their impact on Black culture with contributions to the arts, politics, and sports is immeasurable. I'm Cheryl Wills, born and raised in Queens. Thanks for watching.
The best decision I ever made was marrying her. I knew I was out of my class.
Says if I can help somebody as I pass along the way, then my living will not be in vain.
They're looking around and they're coming in here.
Stranger to my eyes, dropping my bed with his fingers, singing my life with his words.
Become a part of the neighborhood and you will be embraced.
Number 4 video featuring Wu-Tang Clan members, Ghostface Killer. Now, it's no coincidence that
So that's it. The skates are hot.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.